Dear students, welcome to my classroom of environmental sociology. Today, I am going to help you to understand the ideas on environment by Rabindranath Tagore and Mahatma Gandhi. Let's indulge yourself to the literary expressions by Tagore and Gandhi on nature. They were perhaps the first generation of environmentalists who thought for environmental protection and also how to stop or how to prevent the degradation of the environment or nature. Gandhi and Tagore, both of them were having multi-dimensional personality. Both of them were very much popular, renowned in their own fields. Gandhi was a great politician who was also known or regarded as the father of modern India, and he contributed to a great extent for India's freedom from the British colonial domination. On the other hand, Tagore, who was also a nationalist, though he was not actively engaged in politics, but through his writings, he made people aware of the needs of the hour, that how we could have a mind which should be dedicated for the emancipation of our souls from the colonial bondage. Gandhi, he talked on socialism. Tagore also talked on socialism. I would like to make a comparison between Gandhi and Tagore with their ideas on politics as well as with their ideas on environment. Gandhi, he was against of Western civilization. He was against of the machines. According to him, we should promote nature. And he had a profound belief in Indian philosophy. For him, nature was something through which we could develop our holistic attitude towards all. We should imbibe nature in ourselves so that we could be pure and serene like nature, because nature is divine. He tried to promote charkha and khadi, and also he was not that much in favor of using Western methods of having a civic life. In his Hind Swaraj and also in his autobiography, My Experiments with Truth, he portrayed the same. He practiced community living. He practiced farming, and all these practices had been done in South Africa, where he fought against racial discrimination. It was a time he read Tolstoy and also Gita to understand the essence of having a good life. It was also a time when he tried to nourish his ideas on political ecology. He found politics is very important, not only to fight against the colonial rule, also politics is important because it helps us to understand our existence in the society. And here he was very much inspired with Gita, because in Gita he had seen like how Lord Krishna taught Arjun about Raj Dharma, which was politics. Or if we try to understand the relevance of Gita, then still it is very much important for us to know what is Raj Dharma or politics, that is to have a peaceful life. And if we try to connect this particular concept with Western political thought, then I might say that politics means the subordination of the people for better peace and for higher security to the sovereign. So this is a concept which is trying to be very much important in the writings of Gandhi, where he was also trying to make it more relevant in the light of Indian philosophy and also in the light of Hindu religion and traditions. He tried to make politics more acceptable. That's why from his time onwards we have seen that the ordinary people, the marginalized, they became the supporters of Indian National Congress. For him, it was not something to get power or to show his omnipotence. For him, politics is something through which we can fight for justice or we can make ourselves just. And he talked about democracy. And to have democracy, he also talked about satyagraha, the weapon through which we can spread non-violence and we could be able to mold the oppressors with satyagraha if we are really serious about it. So his ideas on non-violence, patience, his respect for Indian culture, for Indian tradition, for Hindu religion, and also how he tried to follow the ideas of the Western political thinkers and also the ideals of the utopian socialists, all were reflected in his ideas or in his perceptions on nature. On the other hand, Rabindranath, he was also a socialist. And Rabindranath, through his writings, through his poems, through his songs, he tried to make people aware about their identity. For him, nationalism was a concept which had been borrowed from the Western world. But he gave more emphasis on education, or especially on mass education. That's why he established Visva-Bharati Santiniketan, where he started education in a very naturalistic manner, where he tried to link education with the nature or the environment. In Rabindranath's pedagogy, education was something which has to be very much naturalistic, very much what I can say original. And that's why he gave emphasis on the connection with nature, and he encouraged his students to be in nature always. That's why they used to have classrooms in the open air. Rabindranath started many celebrations through which he also cherished nature. Like he started brikkharopan festival, through which he started the custom of planting saplings and also to prevent deforestation and also to promote more planting of saplings so that we can have a green nature. And also he introduced one more festival which was known as halakarshan. That means we are respecting the plough through which we are having cultivation. And through various songs, he expressed his love for nature. Akash bhora shurjo tara, Visva-Bhara pran, চাঁদের হাসি বাঁধ ভেঙেছে, উছলে পড়ে আলো. These are the two songs by Rabindranath where he expressed his love for nature. He talked about the universe, he talked about the sky, he talked about the sun, he talked about the planets, he talked about the stars. That's why it was Akash bhora shurjo tara. The entire sky was filled of the stars and sun was also there. So he was trying to say something about the cosmic universe. চাঁদের হাসি বাঁধ ভেঙেছে, উছলে পড়ে আলো. That means he was expressing his love for the beauty of moon. And for him, the moon is smiling. And that smile is spontaneous. It is not following any restriction. It is something which is natural. It is something which is continuous. So through his songs which were dedicated to nature, perhaps he was trying to promote mindfulness. In Rabindra Sangeet, we also have a section on nature that is known as Prakriti Porjay, or we may say a section which is completely dedicated to nature. I must say, Rabindranath, who was a nature lover, not only that, he tried to protect nature with various experiments. That in Santiniketan, how he tried to promote agriculture, how he tried to promote sustainable development, and there his students and facilitators, they became instrumental. His pedagogy was very much unique, and for him, nature was not something which is different from ourselves. Rather, we owe to nature, we live in nature. And I must say that when he was expressing his love for nature, that was something where we find his respect towards democracy and socialism. Because as through Visva-Bharati Santiniketan, he experimented for community living, because it is a residential school for the boys and girls, through which he also tried to impart harmony, the concept of peaceful coexistence, and something which was indicating towards scientific socialism. In one of his songs, though it is not related to nature, but it can help us to understand that what he thought about community living and socialism, which might be also responsible for the protection of nature, because as we are living together, we should know how can we utilize the resources and how can we have a minimalistic life. আমরা সবাই রাজা আমাদেরই রাজার রাজত্বে. All of us are the kings in our own kingdoms. That means we are not only celebrating democracy. If I am a king, then I need to take the care of my belongings, of myself. And if I would like to take care of myself, then I have to respect nature, because we are living in nature only, and nature is very much within us. Dear students, I know like that you know Rabindranath, because I started talking about Rabindranath, but if you are a student who is not having that much idea on Rabindranath Tagore, that's why I thought to introduce Rabindranath. Rabindranath was, or like for us, for the Bengalis, Rabindranath means an emotion. Rabindranath was the first Nobel laureate of our country for his book Gitanjali. Rabindranath was a Bengali writer. He wrote many poems, many songs, many short stories and novels. In one of his songs, which was written in Bengali or Bangla, he talked about how we can prevent deforestation. Maruvijayera ketana urao shunye. What does it mean? Like that if we can plant trees, we will be able to prevent deforestation, and there would be no deserts at all. We will be able to win over the deserts. That's why it is known as Maruvijayera. In many of his writings, we find like how he thought nature. In Daghar, which was a piece of literature where we find the example of Omol, a boy who was sick and he was confined at his room. He only can see the nature through the window of his room, and how he interacted with others and how he expressed his grief being as homebound tells us how Rabindranath felt nature. In Bolai also, we have seen that a schoolboy, how he connected himself emotionally with a simul tree. Even I give you the example of two of his plays, Rakto Korobi and Muktodhara, where he talked about the negativities of the civilization which is based on machines. And if I give you the example of his Tasher Desh, where everything is so perfect, where everything is so time bound, that also helps us to understand how he expressed his dislikings about the machine-made world, which is perhaps very much artificial and punctual, where we have become the slaves of the clock or of the tick-tick sound of the clock. And I must say that Rabindranath, he was against of the machines, but he was not completely against of the Western civilization. He was against of the mechanization, but he was not against of the positive aspects of the Western civilization through which we could be able to enlighten ourselves. So from that regard, we find a striking difference between Rabindranath and Gandhi. Gandhi, he was completely against of Western civilization. But for Rabindranath, he was very much eager to adapt the positive aspects of the Western civilization, and which was very much reflected in his experimentations for his Visva-Bharati Santiniketan project. Also, his son Rabindranath Tagore, he went abroad to learn the modern techniques of how to have a better agriculture, and his all efforts were dedicated to the Sriniketan project, which was also a part of Santiniketan project. So Rabindranath, he was a nature lover. He was a person who tried to portray true concerns for environment. How can we protect environment? How can we save environment? And how can we practice and preach environment in our daily lives through our academic discussions, through the discourses on environment? His ideas were very much philosophical, logical, scientific, and definitely contemporary. So when we talk environment, we should not forget the contributions of Rabindranath Tagore in the field of literature, through which he tried to make us aware, literally aware on environment and how to save the Mother Earth. Dear students, now I will try to give you an idea about the thoughts of Gandhi on environment. Though I have already talked Gandhi while I was expressing my ideas on political ecology of Rabindranath Tagore, because I was unable to separate Gandhi and Rabindranath with this regard. So Gandhi was in my discussion. Now I will be trying to highlight him separately. Before that, I want to know that how are you enjoying my lecture. For that reason, I am giving you a quiz. The question is, who wrote Hind Swaraj? The options are Rabindranath Tagore, Aurobindo Ghosh, Ram Mohan Roy, and Mahatma Gandhi. Do you have any guess? The correct answer is option number 4, Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi, as you know, like he was a champion of non-violence, and this idea of non-violence reflected in his thoughts on environment. How can we protect environment? How can we protect nature? Because it's a part of the family where we live, and here we can quote from Indian philosophy where we talk Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire world is our family. Gandhi also believes the same. And here we find, like, if we protect the Mother Earth, we are also protecting ourselves. And how can we protect Mother Earth? If we promote sustainable development, if we promote eco-friendliness, if we promote natural products, or the minimalistic way of living life. I am repeating, the minimalistic way of living the life. And to have all this, Gandhi gave us a solution. Through his various writings, he wanted that his readers, they should reject machines or the Western mode of civilization, and they should engross themselves to the nature, and here they should follow the traditions which are in our ancient Hindu civilization, and the customs and also the religious scriptures which we received from our forefathers, and we should follow those scriptures, those ideals, so that we can have a pure life as per the Hindu religion or as per the Hindu religious tradition. He was a person who talked on tradition. But on the other hand, I must say that how he tried to promote natural things, like how we can go for the cottage industries, like he talked on that we should give emphasis for the usage of the clothes which are made by the weavers, and for that he tried to make people aware of the importance of khadi and charkha. All these were very much realistic. So his approach was pragmatic when he talked on go back to the nature and don't forget your roots. But we must say that how he tried to deny the Western civilization and the fruits of the Western civilization was not being accepted by others. I must say there is a book by Daniel Hedrick, and the name of the book is The Tools of Empire. Definitely, I agree with Gandhi. Machines make us the slaves of capitalism. Machines make us the slaves of our own desires, that where we only think about our luxury and we become very much ignorant and self-centered and corrupted because we don't think about others and we deprive others. Capitalism talks on class exploitation and class struggle. Gandhi was very much aware of this concept of class exploitation. That's why to eradicate or to eliminate the difference between the rich and the poor, he thought that it would be better if we reject machines permanently, and we should welcome or cherish nature and should give importance to the natural means of life. He talked on biodiversity as well. So if we read the books of Gandhi, we get a clue that how to have a life without machines and which should be at the lap of nature with all the natural means. As he also talked on Ayurveda, also talked on various remedies which we can get from nature so that we could be able to have a healthy life. With this regard, I must say, if we want to have a life in a manner where we can have mindfulness and we can also follow the Indian culture and the traditions which we have in our religion, we should be grateful to Gandhi as he had shown us the path. But on the other hand, I must say that we need to be balanced in our life. It's not possible for us to completely discard the Western civilization, the positive aspects of the Western civilization. And Rabindranath Tagore, here he was a bit pragmatic and realistic than Gandhi. And if you ask me, then honestly I would support the views of Rabindranath Tagore with regard of political ecology, though I always respect Gandhi for his ideas. Now I would like to end with a song by Rabindranath Tagore where he expressed his love for nature. And also it was something that where he talked about the cosmic world. The song is Prathomo Adi Tabu Shakti. That means he was talking something about the supreme power which has created the universe. So, nature is divine, nature is spiritual. That has been accepted by both Gandhi and Rabindranath, but their ways to look at nature was different, where we find differences, but we should accept those differences and should try to imbibe their ideas and could adapt them to have a better life and also to protect the nature. Thank you.